We have another music review for you this week. There's a segment we will call Music We Missed. The album that we're going to be talking about is by Kali Uchis. It is called Red Moon and Venus. This album was released back in March of 2023. It is Kali Uchis' third studio album. We missed this, but Alex did not. Alex put this in his top 10 of the first half of 2023. So we decided, he praised this highly. We should all listen to it and talk about it. I enjoyed it. It's sultry, American English meets Spanish R&B music. Alex, what are your thoughts about this album, since you were the one to recommend that we review it?
Yes, I like this album a lot. I met a friend a while ago, and they were like, hey, do you know this person? I was like, I have no idea who you're talking about right now. And they said they just released this new album. So gave it a shot, and I turned out to really like it. Lived in my head for probably about a week. Like every song in it, like Jeff said, it's sultry. It has this like Latin dance pop to it. Meets like English, and it just really takes me for a ride, and I enjoyed like pretty much every aspect of it.
Yeah, I really like this too. It was a new listen. Had that like 90s R&B vibe kind of going on, and then definitely had like that modern approach. We've been seeing a lot of pop music have a Spanish influence, and this is no different. Had a lot of it in it, and I really liked the blending of it, because it was kind of like the 90s R&B with it, and I hadn't really heard that flavor before, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. I'd never heard of Kali Uchis aside from when Alex has, introduced me to her music and this album in particular. I also really enjoyed this record. I thought it was like a fun, like this is to me sort of like it's a late night, hot, sticky summer album.
Calm down.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like, that's the vibe I got from it. You know what I mean? Like, if that Janelle Monáe record is like the during the summer record, this is like the after dark sort of summer record. It's a little red hot, a little steamy. I love the Spanish vocals and lyrics that are kind of sprinkled throughout this. I find that it kind of gives it a little, spices it up in a really, really delightful sort of way. And like Luke said, yeah, there's a lot of that 90s R&B sort of influence in there that was almost sort of at times a bit Sade-ish that I really do enjoy. And I found this album to be very enjoyable.
Yeah, this album is 15 tracks long, is 43 minutes, so right in the sweet spot where we like albums to be. I know very little about Kali Uchis. I just know that she was born in America to a Colombian father and to an American mother, so that's why you hear, I believe in 3 or 4 songs, there are Spanish vocals, some Spanish verses, some Spanish choruses. Some highlights of this album, in my opinion, I really loved the song Love Between. I thought right from the beginning that really super sick drum opening, it was like a Motown slow jam from like 1971. It had that glockenspiel all over it.
Yeah.
I loved the song after it called All Mine. The bass is just like, it's sex. It's like fucking gigantic bass. Beautiful vocals on that. And then really like the next 4 songs after that, Fantasy, Como Te Quiero Yo, Hasta Cuando, Endlessly, those were my favorite songs. So kind of like right in the middle of the album, just like in a row, just like boom, 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 boom.
Completely agree with your sweet spot on that record. Like you completely nailed it for me. Like Love Between, All Mine, like perfect songs. All Mine, like you said, the chorus to that is so great. Like if you're having a good time, that's me. Like she's saying, like in the relationship with the person, like everything, like you're benefiting. That's me. That's my love. And I liked like the braggadociousness of it, and it was kind of like. I liked when this record was being like really like outwardly like braggadocious and like having a big personality with that like sultry, smooth beats and a rhythm. And All Mine was definitely hit like that on me. And then for like the end, kind of Endlessly to like end that like sweet spot on the album. Endlessly hits so hard with that the 90s R&B, like I was referencing earlier. Has that bouncy, laid back P-funk synth in it. Really,
those synth bass fills are crazy.
Yeah,
so good.
And it's just like rolling throughout it. And that for me, those songs in the record, like Jeff said, amazing. And I love the 1-2 punch of the Spanish together. I think it kind of made when I usually don't like when they do that and they put the 2 different language songs usually in the middle of the record. On here, I liked it. I think it kind of flavored the album well.
It's balanced.
Yes, and then comes right back out.
Yeah, I'll agree too. I love the song "Not Too Late." That had a cool like modulated synthesizer sound thing going on that I really enjoyed. That 1990s 2000s R&B sound, and more Spanish in that one too. It's like she's like rap singing in Spanish. The song Blue, which I wrote, this is Sade vibes from the rip.
100%.
That drum machine sound and the dings on the bell, little sexy sax sort of sprinkled in there
fuzz
too.
Guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, and even Moonlight. I liked Moonlight. The intro was really cool with the chimes, and she got the congas on there. I think they're congas or bongos or some sort of hand drums that are sort of sprinkled in there.
Single for the record as well.
Yeah, and just a really cool like South American R&B vibe, which I really like that. And also that like that womp wompy like Bootsy Collins bass tone that's all over that song too. Like it just lots of cool textures all over this record, man. Like there's the kind of like depending on how you listen to it, you can kind of like pick out like all these sort of things that are just kind of floating around you the whole time, you know.
Yeah, she does have some features with Bootsy. I don't know if you dove into her discography. Some older features with Bootsy. It's pretty cool. Favorite tracks for me, Moonlight. I mean, it's the single. It was released, and it's just a banger. It has the most listened on Spotify, I think, nearing 300 million now. I Wish You Roses. I love that song. It's super slow, and it just makes you feel like you just want to give. I don't know. I love that song.
Yeah, I like that. It was such a good like kiss off to an ex song. Like I hadn't heard like a good like send off song in a minute, and that was really great.
Also, did you notice that in the title of that song, the word "you" is lowercase?
Oh,
every I wish and roses are uppercase, and the word "you" is in lowercase.
Oh, I love that. That's
right.
Very
Very
arty.
spicy.
Yeah,
Grammar burn.
Grammar. Gotcha.
Alex, do you listen to the artist Jay Som at all?
No.
That reminded me of Jay Som, an indie artist. It definitely reminded me of like the keyboard synthy sounds.
Interesting.
I
okay.
really, really love that song.
I'll have to check that out for sure. Last for me, Moral Consciousness. I love how the song opens. It reads the line of one thing about karma, that bitch will bite you, and I love how that opens. It's like a nice sound bite, and it leads into a really good song. I appreciate that one a lot too.
Yeah.
Some features on this album. A feature on Worth the Wait features Omar Apollo, so it's kind of like a back and forth little duet thing on that. Fantasy features Kali Uchis' partner, I think still currently Don Tolliver, on some heavy auto-tune vocals, which I think is a good flavor. The song Deserve Me features Summer Walker coming in a different type of vocal space, a little bit of a different type of like filter on it. Just having a different female voice on the album is kind of cool. I think that's like a highlight of the album is when she comes on for her little like 45-second thing.
Yeah, I think, sorry to skip
go.
ahead. Don Tolliver, my favorite feature on the album, I think Deserve Me, right, is the one with the last
Summer,
feature. Yes, sorry, Summer Walker. Probably my lowest feature I'd put on there. I think the Omar Apollo one was a little bit better. But overall, I think they were just really strong features. None of them were bad. Where I mean, like some albums we've got where like you got these features, and you're like, who are you? Like, get out of here.
Really blended into the album's theme and flavor.
Yeah.
Nothing felt out of place to me on this album.
If I had one like criticism, I think it kind of it's a little too much in that like smooth, like middle, like slow jammy songs. I could have used a couple, maybe a little less of the slow jams and like a shorter album, or maybe like one fast song in replacement of that.
Maybe no like interlude in it too. Just cut out like that piece.
For me, it kind of just hung in that same tempo a little bit too much, but that's my only criticism. I really like all the songs. It just kind of hung in that same tempo a little bit too long. Like in the beginning, I was like, okay, it's like slow, and then it gets in that really sweet spot, and then it kind of gets a little slow again. But that being said, I didn't really hate any of the songs on here. I really liked a lot of it.
Yeah, I found that Happy Now, which is the album closer, is kind of like the only like this is clearly a very upbeat song. I don't know, I'm torn because part of me likes that song as an album closer because it ends on a high note, like in that way. But I almost kind of like wanted that as far like tempo, like I kind of wish that maybe floated around somewhere in the middle, just to bring you up a little bit, so that way you can settle back down after you hear it. But that song was really cool too, because that song, she had these like vocal things going on that were almost like Beach Boys-y, dare I say?
Lots of harmonies,
because it's all that layered
subtle,
vocals and like it's and there's all that kind of stuff.
You also pointed out it sounded like Post
Shot it.
Malone.
Oh yeah. So Post Malone, that
vibrato he does.
yeah, and I think it's in I Wish You Roses. There's she does this quick like vibrato thing with her voice that was kind of reminiscent of like the last Post Malone release, and I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me a little bit of Post Malone. Who did it first? Who knows? Who's to say? But yeah, I don't know. Happy Now, like I would agree with Luke in that one criticism where it does get a little bit sleepy once you start getting to like 13, 14 in there, and then Happy Now just kind of like wakes you up. So maybe that's intentional. Maybe that's like the alarm clock at the end of a sleepy sort of fever dream. You know what I mean? So
You're like lost in it.
yeah, and it just kind of like brings you. You're just kind of like, oh, here we go. Okay.
Well, it's
all
only
right.
bouncy for that first half too, and then the beat switches and it goes to this rainy day rainbows type of like dream world middle.
Yeah.
It is very slow jam, mid tempo heavy. This album, the songs that do stick out groove wise, Fantasy track 6 has that mid tempo like sultry Latin kind of groove. Hasta Cuando has kind of like a mid tempo electro kind of dancey groove. Endlessly, the song that's very 80s, like layers of 80s keyboards, has kind of more of a like early 90s Mariah Carey type of groove. But this is very much like sultry, chill, sexy, evocative, provocative type of music.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good album for people who enjoy. Some artists I mentioned were Amber Mark and Sabrina Claudio, who are just in this vein of like the dreamy is not what I mean, but like that seductive type of R&B
Absolutely.
music.
Yeah. Ratings? Shall we go around?
Yeah. I liked this a lot. There were, I would say, at least half the tracks I was really, really into, and the ones I wasn't that into, I was just like, yeah, these are still fine. So overall, like what I really liked. She has a really good voice. I'm gonna say this is a strong 8.
Alex?
Yeah, I'll go next. I'm gonna come close to Jeff here. I think it's a solid 8.5 for me. I really enjoy it. I'll listen to it a lot. A lot of the songs live on my R&B playlist and kind of more of those like late night summer playlists as well for me. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to agree too. I'm going to go for an 8 as well. I think it's a really, really solid record. She's got a great voice. This is her 3rd album, so I'm really interested in seeing what happens after this. I'm a sucker for incorporation of different languages, especially when it's done tastefully like this and done well. Yeah, solid 8 for me.
I also enjoyed this record. Could have used a little bit more up-tempo or a shorter track listing. I'm going to go that I like most of it, though. 7.9. I believe it's a very strong record. Really liked a lot of it on here. Thank you for Alex for suggesting that we listen to this.
Thank you.
And thank you to Alex for joining us for these reviews on
Yes.
this episode. Our producer behind the boards.
Absolutely. If you guys have another album that you would like to hear us review that we might have missed this year, please let us know. We will probably do it. There are some weeks where we don't have new stuff to review, so let us know if you want to see us review something.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know, what do you think of this record? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Were we right? Were we wrong? Drop it down in the comments below. And don't forget, most importantly, to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know every time we drop new videos. And, rate us on Apple Podcasts and follow us on Spotify. Until next time, this has been Get in the Garage.
Thanks for listening.